Welcome to Midwest Paratalk Radio with your hosts, Deb and Greg. Hey, welcome to Midwest Paratalk Radio. I am Greg. That is Deb. And you're listening to us act a fool. We got a good show coming up for you tonight. I mean, there's no other way to put it. We just,
we just acted the fool.
Right. Let me turn on the live feed. Here we go. Okay. Yeah, so we got a good show coming up for you guys tonight. We're going to be talking a little bit about the Kokomo Boom and what kind of transpired out of that from actually Deb's investigation of the boom. So we've got some cool audio. We got some visual for you guys tonight. So also, if you want to chat with us, I'll bring up the chat. You can go over to Midwest Paratalk Radio on YouTube. We've got a live chat going on there. You can also go over to MidwestParatalkRadio.com. And we've got a chat on that page as well. And so, yeah. What's up, Teef?
Me and my teeth is just fine. Oh, Lordy. It's been a day. But crisis averted. I got my broken tooth fixed.
Yay.
Right. Yay.
Oh, wow.
I didn't want to have to come on this show and look like
not have any teeth.
Hey, Granny from the Beverly Hillbillies. That's what I sound like. I won't even answer the phone with them. Oh, well, anyway, hey, it's life. That's what happens when you get old, especially when you never had dental insurance as an adult for years and years and years. So right. It is what it is. I'm thankful to have what I have. But anyways, yeah, I'm here. All my bits and pieces are here and ready to go.
All your bits and pieces.
All my bits and pieces.
Well, my bits and pieces are bits and pieces, and we're good to go there too. So, it's been a real crappy day today. It's just rain.
Yeah, but we need it. God knows we need the rain. I mean, hell, we've had over an inch here.
No,
yeah.
my lawnmower's broke. Like dead, right?
Get your scissors out.
I got 2.5 acres that says that's not going to happen.
Oh my God!
I mean, seriously,
I had a patio in an apartment complex, with this little strip of grass around it, and I literally cut my grass with my kitchen scissors.
Oh my God!
That's all I had.
The thing is, we got 2.5 acres.
Yeah.
And my lawnmower broke about 3 weeks ago, which was okay because the weather started changing and the grass started to go a little bit dormant.
Yeah.
Not that big of a deal. Then it started to rain. Yeah. So my grass that was cut turned into grass that's about mid-thigh, almost waist high. So before I got a lawnmower coming next week, but before I do that, I'm going to have to rent a bush hog and get out there and do the side yard before I can even run the lawnmower over it.
Yeah, to that, or you're going to wreck your new lawnmower and put it in the shop.
Exactly.
Our backyard, our yard was looking kind of crunchy and brown for a while, but it's greened up again and it kind of popped up real quick. And I have 2 little Yorkies. And, one's a male and he's got a little bit of a belly on him. So his little thingaling is like, it's grass surfing right now. Dave's got to get out there and mow it or he's going to disappear. I can't even tell when he's peeing because I can't see anything.
His little thingaling.
His little thingaling is grass surfing. I ain't right. You already know that. Though.
You know, right? I got 2 females that don't like the grass to touch their ha-ha when they go pee anyway. So they're thing-a-linging their ha-has. It's all good. So, all right. Tonight we've got an interesting story. When exactly did the Kokomo Boom happen, Deb?
It happened on April the 16th, 2008. So it's been a minute ago.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay.
I had been out of UFO stuff for a while at that point because I had just gotten kicked back into it. Like the month before, I had had a sighting, and I hadn't seen anything for years. I'd had a sighting of the O balls, is what they call them, orange balls of light. They'd been popping up around Kokomo like mad. There've been like daily people reporting it. And I myself saw 3 of them. I was on my way home from Sharpsville coming up the back county roads. I was headed north and kind of look over this big open area and see, Kokomo. Southeast side of Kokomo. And I saw first one popped up, then a second, and then a third. And they kind of did this weird twirly dance around each other. And they were quite large, and they were pretty close to the ground. And I was freaking out. I pulled over to watch. And then I got back in the car and I hightailed it home. And the funny part was, when I got out of my car, we live out in the country. I got out of my car to run to the front, ducking as I went in the house. And I don't even know why. It's so dumb, but it's like something from above was going to snatch me.
Right.
But I was bound and determined at that point that, I told Dave about what I'd seen, and he's kind of like, yeah, right, whatever. And I'm like, no, dude, I'm not kidding you. And then I saw it 2 other times with other people. First one, then another one, and then a third one popped in before they disappear. And so I got me one of these low-lux Sony camcorders, which were giant at the time, but still, I mean, this wasn't a huge, big one like the first, but I didn't know how to do it. And
Right.
I didn't know how to operate it very well. I did the best I could, but I was bound and determined to show people that I saw these things. They're real, they're out there, and I don't know what they are. And so I kind of got, thrown back into the whole ufology thing.
Right.
Didn't really want to, but it had other ideas for me.
Right.
So, fast forward a month or so, and then April 16th happens, and I'm actually a witness to it. And when I spoke to my old friends in MUFON about it, because it was a big deal, Jerry Sievers was the state section director at the time. He's like, would you please, assist in this investigation? Would you come out of retirement for this? I mean, you are a witness, but you are also one of the best investigators I had back in the day. And I'm like, yeah, I'll do it for you, so I got involved that way too. But first and foremost, I was a witness. So it's pretty interesting. I want to read you a couple of newspaper articles that talked about it. One was from the Indianapolis, let's see. Hold on. Was it Indianapolis Star? I believe. And then one was from the Kokomo Tribune.
So, I mean, the story was big enough that the Star picked it up.
Oh, goodness. I mean, the Chicago Tribune had a story about it. It was on the national news. There were a bunch of different, newspapers in big cities around the Midwest here that picked it up and wrote about it. Everybody's story was a little different, but and it was on the nightly news and it was on the national news as well. So it got around pretty quick. It was a pretty big story. Yeah. I mean, I know like 149 people called the police department that night after the boom to report it. And the thing that always got me was, they, at the end of the day, they claimed that it was a sonic boom. This thing was heard over 3 counties, I think. And sonic booms, as we talked about prior to this, are pretty directional, right. And that just doesn't make any sense that you could hear a sonic boom spread out over 3 counties in a state. And I've heard sonic booms before, living 18 miles south of Grissom and, 6 miles or so east of the edge of their MOA. So I've heard sonic booms before in the 30 years I've been here, and they always sound like a double boom, like a ba-boom, ba-boom, right. This was a bang. This was not a sonic boom. I heard it. Yeah.
So it was definitely, it was an explosion versus any kind of sonic.
Yeah.
Boom, sonic resonance, anything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and I know the difference, and so did all the other people who heard it that have lived here, because they also heard sonic booms for all the time they've lived here. And like I said, not only do we live 18 miles south of Grissom Air Base, but we live right next to their MOA, which is a military air, that's their operating space. It's where they do their
operating space.
Yeah. So, it wasn't unusual to see jets over there or helicopters. And every now and then you'd see one of those big refueling planes come in and bank around right over my house. And them dudes are huge. But, so anyways, it was, I'll tell you I'll tell you what happened to me that night. And then I'll go on, I'll read the articles. They're short. And then I've got some clips that I want to share with everybody that emphasize my point. I've got clips that I myself took from the internet police scanner radio that night of all of the chatter. I also have, I think I have it on here. Yes, I do. It's a video, but it's technically not a video because you can't see anything of the neighborhood dogs going berserk right before the explosion happened. And also, I actually was able to convert the old video that I had taken while I was out there that night trying to record the aircraft and the orange balls of light before the explosion. And to my surprise, I found my videos. I couldn't open it, but then all of a sudden I got this software where I could convert video from old stuff, and I got it open. I'm like, oh my God. But anyway, I digress.
Look at you becoming the tech.
Yeah, this old woman here. I couldn't even turn a computer on until I was 35 years old, but whatever.
They didn't have computers until you were 35. What are you talking about?
I didn't have one until I was 35. Anyway, so I was, like I told you, I've been having my eye on the sky ever since March when I first saw those orange balls of light. And I kept feeling like something was going to happen and I needed to record it. And I needed to prove to everybody that I wasn't crazy. I was seeing this. Yeah. And basically prove to my husband, I don't really care about anybody else thinks, but I wanted to rub it in his face and say, see, look, I told you. But anyway, so that night, April 16th, I took my Sony Low-Lux camcorder and I went over to Jackson Morrow Park, which is right at the edge of the MOA. It was a place where I felt fairly safe at night. I was in the big parking lot that they have there, and there wasn't anybody around me to bug me. And that was the direction that I had been seeing these things, was over in that general direction, which that's like south and west of Kokomo a little bit, it's between Tipton County and Howard County, but it's in Howard County. Anyway, so I'm sitting in the parking lot with my camcorder and I called my buddy Tim, my buddy Greg, that'd be you. I called my buddy Tim. He lived down in Florida at the time, and told him what I was doing. And I was trying to get some advice from him about how to do this camera, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I was damn desperate to find something, Anyway, and in the video, let's see here. You can actually hear me talking to Tim. You can't really see anything, so I probably won't. I don't know if I even.
Oh, go ahead and play it.
Okay, it's pretty short. I'll play that first.
Okay.
This was, well, actually, is it the same one? Yeah, I think this is the same. I think it's one's a copy, and well, I don't know. One's 20 and one's 50. Okay, I'll play the 50-second one first.
Camera on, and I'm pointing it right at the area where the light just came on, because I know it's going to come back on again. I can see him. It looks like there's two. Damn. I've got the ground lights at the bottom of the screen. There's street lights and apartment lights, because I'm looking over a field. There's two. Right now they're just flashing a little strange.
Well, that sucked. You couldn't see him, but you can hear me talking to Tim. So, I mean, I'm there. Let me see what the next one is.
Okay.
Crash site and any debris, and they're setting up parameters, and they're trying to get a hold of a chopper in the area to be able to fly above and have a better chance of finding any crash if there is one. Nothing's been confirmed.
That was driving towards the area, and you can see all of the first responders' lights flashing and everything.
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Anyhow, I am over there trying to videotape these orange balls of light, and on the big screen, you can see a real faint flash. You know, when I play it on like my big TV over here, but you can't see nothing on there, so I apologize. But and you can hear my voice though. I'm pretty excited about something. Anyway, I see these orange lights. One pops in, and then another one tries to pop in, and but then I start seeing something different, and when they got closer to me, I realized they were jets, not airplanes like flying to California, but like military jets. And as soon as they got close enough, the orange lights popped and disappeared like that. And I sat there talking to Tim on the phone and watching these jets like do a crisscross pattern right over top of the area where I was at, like they were looking for something. I watched them for several minutes, and they would fly down. They would fly to the south, then they would come back to the east, then they would come back north again, then they'd go west, and then they'd come back down south. And there were 2 or 3 of them, maybe 3. I don't know. It's been a while. I can't remember. I have it written down, but anyway, I sat there for the longest time hoping the orange balls of light would come back, and they didn't. It was getting late. I had to pee like a racehorse because I'd been drinking coffee all night, and I had to get up, and I had to be at work at 6 o'clock in the morning. So, and it was getting late. So I'm like, I'm going to have to wrap this up, but I can't help but feel I'm going to miss something. Something is about to happen. So I got off the phone with Tim, and I went home, which took maybe 5 minutes. Right. And I got to the house. I ran up the driveway, went in the house, went to the bathroom right away, but I felt pulled back outside. So I went back out to the end of the driveway with my camera, and I'm looking towards Jackson Memorial Park. I'm looking west towards the area where I saw these lights. And I decided to try to record. I turned the recorder on because I just kept feeling like that it was going to pop back. And right after I turned on the recorder, the animals, I mean, every animal in the neighborhood, all the dogs and even the wild stuff out there started hooting and hollering. And it was so bizarre that I stood there for a minute and just recorded it. You couldn't see anything, but it's actually a video, but you can hear them, and I'll play that for you.
Okay.
Oh my God.
So that was bizarre. Yeah. And
they were
huh?
Said they were getting after it.
I mean, there was even like howls of animals. I think that maybe they were like foxes or coyotes or something. I don't know. It wasn't just dogs. And we live in the country, and the houses are far apart. And it's like,
right.
I've never heard all of them act like that all at once everywhere. It was just bizarre. And I started getting a little creeped out by it. And I decided to go in go up to my office and try to take that video off the camera and get on my computer. So I ran to my room, put on my nightgown, and then I went to my office. And I'm sitting in my office, and my office is windows that face the south and west. The whole sides are windows on both sides of my office, and my computer's like in the corner. So I'm surrounded by these windows, and I'm sitting here, and I remember looking up at the clock, and I believe the clock said 10:25 p.m. And just as I looked up at the clock, my entire office filled with like a yellowish orange flash light. And at the same time, my house, I heard this explosion, and my whole office was filled with this bright flash. My whole house shook, the windows rattled, and then I heard a thump, a loud, like something dropped on my roof. And I'm like, what the fuck is that? And I jumped up. I ran to the bedroom where my husband was, and I said, Dave, wake up, wake up. Did you hear that? What the hell was that? Something exploded. Everything turned a yellow orange. And he didn't hear it. He's like, So I grabbed my house coat and a flashlight, and I ran outside. And what I was thinking in my head was that, those jets that I saw crisscrossing, a few miles west of my house.
Right. Yeah.
I thought in my head, I'm thinking, okay, a couple of those jets must have crashed into each other up in the sky. And one of the pilots maybe ejected and landed on my roof, right? This is what I'm thinking in my head, right? I'm not thinking about UFOs. I'm thinking jets and pilots and ejected seats and what. So I ran outside in my nightgown with a flashlight, and I was looking for a parachute in my yard for real.
Yeah.
I didn't see anything. And I didn't see anything, and I didn't see any fire in the distance. I was looking for fire, trying to see if I could smell burning smoke or whatever. So I'm like, this is crazy. So I ran inside. I got back on my computer, and I hunted up the page. I hunted up the scanner page, police scanner web. And I got on there, and the chatter was unbelievable. And I started recording. I hit record, and I got 6 hours. I let that sumbitch run for 6 hours and recorded all this chatter, even though probably after the first hour or so, or, even less, it died down, but I just let it run. And I'm so thankful I had the presence of mind to do that, because I caught some things that,
oh yeah, you definitely caught some. Yeah,
caught some things that definitely are the opposite of what the people had reported on these articles. I'll read you in a minute.
Right.
So anyway, the phone rings, shortly thereafter, and it's my son, who at the time was a cab driver, worked overnight shift. It's a cab company here that's out of town. It's out of business now. And he's like, are you guys okay? And I'm like, why? What's going on out there? Because, I knew he was out there. And I said, did you hear that? And he's like, Jesus Christ. He said, we got pulled off the road. EMS or whatever pulled them off the road and had their dispatcher pull everybody off the road, because there's so much. They've got, first responders coming in from several different counties, and there's so much traffic on the road. They pulled us all off and said there was a plane crash, and it's right out there by where you're at, Mom. And I'm like, well, I saw something, but I don't know what it was, because he was just calling to make sure that we were okay, because he was told that it was a plane crash right out here by where we lived. So he was worried about us, and that's why he called. So anyway, that was my witnessing of the, Kokomo Boom. And here I want to read to everybody a couple of, so the next day, of course, that was all they talked about on WWKI radio station local. And they had a guy out there from Grissom Air Base who was kind of laughing, said, yeah, we had a young pilot. He got his foot a little heavy in the throttle, and he did a sonic boom, and he wasn't supposed to. Well, you're not supposed to do any of that shit over a city. That's what MOAs are for. You know, you're not supposed to get your foot in the throttle when you're flying over a little town that's got like 30,000 people living in it.
Right.
You know, that was bullshit. And I knew it when I heard it. And the guys he was very cavalier about it and blowing off the fact that people were reporting seeing stuff in the sky, you know, burning balls of debris and all kinds of other stuff. And in one of these recordings, you'll hear them say, somebody called up to Grissom and asked him what they got going on. What are they doing up here? And that Grissom comes back and says, all of our planes are on the ground, and they've been on the ground for about 30 minutes before this happened. So it ain't us. So, but anyway, and you'll hear that in a minute too.
Well, and before we get going on that,
okay,
when we talk about MOAs, I mean, that's pretty much restricted air, whatever they call it, airspace, right?
Yeah, I got it.
So local, even twin props or even single engine airplanes that would be in anywhere around that area in a little bitty, you know, backwater airport would know better than to fly in that area, though, right? I mean, is it?
Well, at least when, you know, I mean, I'm assuming that if Grissom has something planned out there, they're going to notify, they're going to have people, you know, not be in that area. That's the whole point of having a distincted area, you know, a space for being able to do that and not having a bunch of yahoos just flipping around in there for, you know.
Right. Okay.
That's the point of a MOA. And the MOA is supposed to be over unpopulated area. I mean, you may have a farmhouse here or there, but you know, this stuff was going on right here, right over Kokomo.
Yeah.
And then the bad thing is the next night, it's almost like it was an intentionally staged thing to say, see, look, there was a sonic boom. And it was right like over Markland Mall. You know what I mean? And it was almost like they did that on purpose to distract from what happened the night before, right?
Right.
Oh, another thing, in the course of my research, because, you know, it was eating me up alive. I couldn't stand it. So even before I told Move On, I would go out there and mess around. I next day got in the car and went right to because they were reading the coordinates right off on the police radio. So I went there. And I got photographs of some, you know, weird dredged up stuff, and not a lot, not a big like airplane crash site, but there were places where there was clearly some scourge on the fields and lots of tire tracks going into the field. And when I was going down 26, I started to head west on State Road 26, right off of 31, and I was stopped. The road was completely closed, and there were barriers everywhere. And not only was the road completely closed, but they literally dug up the asphalt all the way across the road, and there were big piles of dirt everywhere. You couldn't even drive around it. And it was like, what the did these fools do? I live there, and I tell you, when they go and tear up a road and close a big road like State Road 26, we have plenty of notice. They tell you about it in advance, and there's signage up that says after X date, this road will be closed, detour, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
None of that. There was none of that. None of that. It just the next morning, bright and early.
It was closed.
It was just done.
Yeah.
And I have the photograph. Can't remember where it's on here. Oh, here it is. Oops, my bad.
Yep.
Look at the piles of dirt on either side where they literally scraped up the asphalt. So you can't even go through. Right. And look at all the mess on the road.
So no,
like that the day before, not at
right. So leave that picture up. So just for context, the field that the anomaly went down in,
right,
was the left or right of this area here,
It
or
was
is this
it was to the left of this by a few miles, but this was
okay?
one of the main ways to get in there.
Okay.
But it was to the left. That was, and I'm
Mhm.
like, you ain't gonna stop me. I already know my way around them backcountry roads, son. And I took off a four-wheeling, and that's how I found some of the other stuff.
Right.
Like
There it
this
is.
was
Yeah.
this was in the middle of a field, and all the field had just been harvested or
Mhm.
hadn't been planted yet. And I mean, because this was April.
Right.
So,
Right.
I
So now
mean, there was that.
looking at this picture, and this is what I was trying to figure out when you and I at first started had talked about this. It's like it's not a crater where if you
Mm-mm.
were to expect an airplane to crash into the ground, you would have some sort of crater that or scorched earth or something. What it almost looks like is that dirt has been backfilled into an existing hole.
I don't know what it was. I didn't have a chance to get real close to him because somebody came up to me, pulled
Oh,
up near me. Here's another shot of an area. It's almost like it's like a skid mark or a, a
mhm.
little. In my mind, I'm picturing like not a lot, like just small pieces of debris that were left. Like whatever was up there that got toasted there wasn't a lot of it left. You know what I
It
mean?
yeah, it almost looks like to me like it's a crescent indentation into the ground.
And
So
then
coming back off of the right-hand side of the screen, it comes up, it curves around onto the
yeah.
left side and then back down. So like if something was to hit there in that type of shape, that part of it went into the ground. And I know this is going to sound, you guys are going to laugh at me, but like watching the Next Generation movie where the Enterprise crashed into the earth or to the ground, that type of shape that was created by the nose of the
Oh
Enterprise. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
and yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, here's a little video clip I took in my vehicle right before when I rolled up on it, and you can see like muddy tire tracks going off the road into the field and back, and this was
Mhm.
right before the guy in the truck pulled up behind me, and I hightailed it out of there. I didn't want to confrontation with anybody.
Right.
Um, oh, this isn't the video clip. This is just another. There's a video clip somewhere. I might not have uploaded that. Anyway, you can see how close to the edge of the road it got. And right up in this area here, there was a lot of tire tracks going across the grass. You
Mhm.
know, I thought that was a video. I do have a video of that, but I don't think I uploaded it yet.
Now
So
my
anyway, but
question
you can see that. I mean, this was like these were like little things like this, all scattered across this one field,
Mhm.
and a little
Okay.
bit on the other side.
Is that a farmhouse off in the distance
I don't. Yeah, it might
between
be.
that tree line?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, and I don't know if you remember a Diane lady. She lived pretty close to that area.
Mhm.
Me and the other guy that I was working with MUFON, we actually hit the floor running as soon as we could, and we're knocking on doors all over that area. Also trying to get video from the convenience stores all along 31, security
Right.
video. But strangely enough, nobody had any video from that night,
Of course.
which
I want to
that
go
was
back to a picture here and it raised a question for me.
Mm.
Wasn't that one? Was it this one? This one. All right. You see the ground cover where it's obviously something has disturbed the earth, right?
yeah, right.
Okay. Now, is this is ground zero, right?
This
More
area is
yeah,
where, yeah, this is the area like when the guy on the thing says, I'm at the only known debris site, this is
yeah.
the area he was talking about. That's why I went
Okay.
there.
Now, how come these people in these houses back here?
Yeah, I see those houses. I have no idea. And I'm,
You know what I mean?
huh?
It's like I don't know. That's fishy to me, though.
Some of the houses that we went to, when we knocked on the door, people did not answer. Some of the people that answered did not want to talk to us. And then
Right.
a couple of people that answered did talk to us and said they saw what they thought was a UFO coming through the trees. So,
Yeah.
I don't know who got to them before we did. I actually have a friend who knows some of the people that owned this property, in some of these fields in here, and he's supposed to be talking about, asking them some questions for me, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Some people don't want to talk about it. They're afraid. So,
Right. Yeah. I mean, I get
I
that.
was just out trying to find answers, being how I was the witnessing and showing you the video that I had, played. So
Right.
anyway, before I go to some of these recordings, clips that I got from the police scanner that night, which was all public, not public. It was a regular old police scanner app, like the old radios, except now it's an app. Or it wasn't even an app; it was a website back then in 2008 that you could go to. But so I got it all legitimately. I just happened to be at the right place at the right time, and I thought to do the right thing. So that's how I caught it. But I want to read to you these two little quick, brief thing that was put out in the mainstream media after the next few days, because so many people were, asking so many questions.
Okay.
Let me see. This one is from the Indianapolis Star. Let me get this pulled out more. It was posted April 17th, and the author is Tom Spalding. Just so I give credit where credit's due, Well, okay. Fighter jets routinely practice over rural Indiana skies, but a mid-air mistake Wednesday night spooked many people. At least 2 F-16s, and I saw, I think, 3, taking part in a routine training exercise with the Indiana Air National Guard accelerated too quickly at 10,000 feet, causing a sonic boom on the ground below that rattled windows and nerves and had some rural Howard County residents discussing the possibility of UFOs, meteors, and even a plane crash. People just started flooding the radio stations and the police with phone calls. It woke everybody up, said Cameron Huffman, 19, an Indiana University Kokomo student. Like many, Huffman thought he had witnessed a meteorite after he saw flare-like lights in the sky at about 10:30 p.m. while walking his girlfriend to her car. In Howard County, 911 dispatcher took 146 phone calls between 10:25 p.m. and 10:40 p.m. See, I told you, I looked at the clock and it was 10:25.
Right.
The county also activated its emergency management agency just in case, said Sheriff Marshall Talbert. One witness told us there was a large glow of light that broke into 4 smaller sections of light that cascaded to Earth. Obviously, we are all in a heightened state of awareness. Certainly, when people observe something like that, they do what we want them to do, and that's report it. Some people speculated about meteorites and UFOs, but aviation and military buffs know F-16s practice for a week each month in the night sky in a broad swath of airspace known as the Hilltop Military Operations Area, which includes Lafayette, Peru, Kokomo, Logansport, and other airspaces 30 miles north of Indianapolis International Airport. Logansport Police Chief A.J. Rossi said he heard a loud sonic boom Tuesday night and then heard the sound of a jet high overhead. He said residents also reported seeing fire streaks in the sky. The F-16 chaff flares and looks like a fireball and are meant to emit a heat signature. They burn up in the atmosphere. It's like an anomaly. They've been flying this all week. This is their 1 week of night flying this month, and they've been doing 1 week per month for a long time, said the National Guard Colonel Deidre Tomlinson, a spokeswoman based in Indianapolis. She had spoken to Colonel Jeffrey Solder 122nd Wing Commander of the Indiana Air National Guard based at Fort Wayne International Airport. An internal investigation will be conducted, although it was unclear today if the planes or any pilots were to be grounded. Tomlinson said, breaking the sound barrier is a no-no above residential areas because it can cause this sort of commotion. You're not supposed to hear a boom. That means the pilot nudged it too fast. They made a mistake. Right. Okay. And then the next article is from Mike Fletcher, the Kokomo Tribune staff writer. Let me spread this out so I can see it. Basically says the same thing. Loud boom heard throughout Howard County and Tipton counties late Wednesday was caused by F-16 fighter jets conducting training in the area, according to the Indiana National Guard report Thursday. Howard and Tipton County police and fire units scrambled to the area of US 31 and 300 North in Tipton County about 10:30 p.m. Wednesday upon hearing numerous reports of a loud boom and strange lights in the sky. In Howard County, 911 dispatchers took 141 phone calls within a 15-minute time frame between 10:25 and 10:40 p.m. Normally, the 911 center averages 15 to 20 calls per night. Initially, police thought it was an aircraft crash, but without any evidence of a crash or any debris, police were left puzzled. You can hear, this is not in the article, you can hear in some of this that there's a lot of chaos and they're running around. But when you hear a guy saying, I'm at the only known debris site, you automatically think, if our police officers can't tell the difference between a sonic boom and a plane crash debris site, we got problems. Okay, right. Back to this article. Speculation ran rampant that the booms and lights were either a plane crash, a meteor shower, or even UFOs were mentioned as the culprits. A representative of the Indiana National Guard in Indianapolis said Thursday that the Guard takes responsibility for the recent nighttime disturbance in Kokomo and Logansport the past 2 days. Loud noises reported by citizens in northern Indiana, accompanied by flashes of light and what appeared to be falling debris earlier this week, were the result of training conducted by Indiana National Guard F-16 aircraft, headquarters at Fort Wayne's 122nd Fighter Wing. A press release from Colonel Jeffrey Soldern, commander of the 122nd Fighter Wing, stated, the Indiana Air National Guard conducts training missions on a daily basis. All of our military members, including our pilots and crew members, require the most realistic training possible for their own safety and those they work to protect. The release explained that F-16 aircraft routinely train with the countermeasure chaff flare system. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. It's CHAFFE flares, which draws heat-seeking missiles away from the aircraft exhaust. It was the nighttime engagement of this system that resulted in the string of lights reported by citizens, according to the release. I don't recall interviewing anybody that said anything about strings of lights. But anyway, the flares were released over 10,000 feet in accordance with longstanding guidance for Hilltop Military Operations Area that extends from Grissom Air Reserve Base to West Lafayette and includes Logansport, 30 miles north of Indianapolis, bordering Kokomo. Solder also said the area is not designated for supersonic flight and an investigation will be conducted to determine if any aircraft exceeded the speed. I have ordered a thorough investigation to be conducted into why the incident took place. I have also ordered that our flying squadron conduct a complete review of the tactics that were in practice at the time. We will ensure that our pilots review airspeed restrictions in all of our practice flights training areas, and that these restrictions are briefed prior to each flight. Larry Smith, director of Howard County Emergency Management Agency, said his officers were ready in case any wreckage was found. We started activating our guys when the sheriff department called. Smith said of the incident, we set up at 31 and Indiana 26, which we heard it may have come from 300 North area in Tipton County. That picture of the road tore up was that I showed you was Indiana US 31 looking west on 26. Yeah, that.
This one here.
Yep. Anyway, Then we heard it may be in the area of Clinton and Howard County line, so we set up a grid search of the area and found nothing. Smith's secretary, Janice Hart, said she was lying on her bed talking to her niece when a loud explosion rocked her home. It just shook my house to its depths. As soon as it happened, my niece said, "Oh my God, Aunt Janice, what was that?" I looked out my bedroom window and my husband went to the front of the house to see what it was. Hart, who initially thought an explosion had rocked a nearby factory, was busy Thursday morning handling calls about the noise and the lights. It's all they're talking about. I had numerous calls asking if it was a sonic boom, a meteor, even some people joking that it was a UFO. Logansport Police Chief AJ Rossi said he heard a loud sonic boom Tuesday night and then heard the sound of a jet overhead. He said that residents also reported seeing fiery streaks in the sky. He said that it's common for a 122nd to conduct missions in the area and believes F-16 training almost certainly explained the sights and sounds. We've been doing that training for quite a while. I don't know what maneuvers they're actually doing, but they do shoot out streaks of light. The Associated Press contributed to this report. Anyway, so I mean that's all fine and dandy, but that doesn't jive with what the police scanner folks were saying that night. It also doesn't jive with some things that were discovered later after the fact by a film company that came out to film a show called Discovery X about the Kokomo Boom. The producers of that show informed me and the other fellow that I was researching with that they had gotten a hold of some radar data from that night that showed not only 2 or 3 F-16s in the area, but 3 different anomalous objects behaving in ways that we don't
Not
do.
normal.
Right.
Yeah.
High speed, right angle turns, and then taking off, and then the jets chasing them. So, and this is what we were told by these producers from this show. But this was after the show had already aired that they were able to get it. So it never made it to the air. Much to the chagrin of me and the guy that I was working with at the time.
Right. Yeah. I'm going to see if I can find a picture of heat flares from the aircraft and what they actually look like and what they're trying to say they were.
Yeah. And I've seen aircraft flares and they fizzle out. They're not that bright. Even the ones that are supposed to make, that are supposed to put off a lot of heat so that the heat-seeking missiles will go to it instead of to the jet. I get that. I've seen that. And I've also seen the back end of an F-16. I've seen the afterburners, a couple of orange lights. They don't do what the orange balls of light in Kokomo have. Not at all. I've seen them both. I've been flown over by an F-16, and when they're coming at you, you don't really hear them that much. And you hear you don't hear them until they're like right on top of you and going past you. When they get behind you is when you hear them the most. And also, again, like I said, sonic booms are a ba-boom. They're loud and they'll shake a window. There's no doubt about that. But they're a ba-boom. And this was a bang.
Right.
This was different. I heard it. I am aware of the difference. I'm not, somebody that's not as informed as I am, possibly, okay, that's what it was. But no, because I know the difference. And I'm thinking to myself no, between what I heard, what I saw, what I heard on the police scanner, what I saw that night, the way the animals were acting, no, that doesn't line up to me.
Right.
So
yeah, it's super fishy. And you really got me with the audio of dispatch and the officers talking.
yeah. Now one of the clips that I have, the plane, I can't remember whether it was which one. Does it tell me how long they are? Let me see. No, it doesn't. Okay, well, I'm going to play its beginning boom clip is short. That's when I first turned on the recorder, and you can hear all of the different counties that were called in to service and the chaos that ensued. And we've seen tons. We used to sit out in out in the back at Glenn's house and watch them drop flares. And we knew what it was because we'd seen it. And like I said, the next night they were out there dropping flares.
Right.
And there was a distinct difference. Okay.
Right.
So,
yeah. This is for our viewers. This is what flares look like, or heat flares come off of the jets to pull whatever missiles, heat-seeking missiles, away from them, and it's supposed to hit those. But yeah.
And they fizzle out pretty quick.
Yeah. They're not very long, but I mean,
F-16 don't need a lot of time to get the hell out of the way. So
yeah, that's right.
Okay, so anyway, this first clip. Okay, this is beginning boom reports. I'll play this.
Engine, RAS 49, rescue 45, 43, 31, just west of 300 north, US 31, just west of 300 north, US 31, an explosion. Engine 41, engine 42, RAS 49, rescue truck 43, truck 46, engine 31, just west of 300 north, one explosion.
And see, they're calling an explosion, not a sonic boom. You'd think they know the difference.
RAS 49, rescue 45, 43, 31, just west of 300 north, US 31, just west of 300 north, US 31, an explosion. Engine 41, engine 42, RAS 49, rescue truck 43, truck 46, engine 31, just west of 300 north, one explosion.
That's a lot of shit for a sonic boom. And that's just some of it. Like I said, it ended up being 3 counties. People were reporting it for 3 counties too. You can't hear a sonic boom in 3 counties at the same time. That doesn't happen.
No, not at all.
So, but see, most people don't know that. Okay, now this one, it may be the longer. I can't remember. I am so bad. Let me just look over here real quick before I do that. So audio files, because I can tell.
I'm going to show the MOA.
Okay.
Map while you're looking for that.
Okay. Now I know. Witnesses. This one is about 5 minutes long. This one, so I can play most of it, maybe. Yep, that's the MOA. And you can see here's Grissom Air Base. And then it goes all the way to White County. Yeah, they call it the Hilltop MOA. And then there's another one, the 12-mile MOA is it's closer to Fulton County.
Okay, now
I can't even read. I can't even see these. God, I'm old. There's Kokomo on the end. See, we're just outside of the edge of the MOA that is like just south of Kokomo.
Okay, and for viewers that'll check this out, Kokomo is in the bottom right-hand side of the MOA. Grissom is right in the center on the right. Then you go down a little bit. There it is on the right there. So, all right.
Okay. All right. So this one is the witness coming apart. This one's about a 5-minute long clip. We'll see. I can't remember what's on it. So
there was some talk like that. There was a gentleman that watched it come through the air, and he advised it was not a ball of fire. It was coming apart, whatever it was, and it was about 7 miles west of where we were just at. Okay, I'm heading westbound now on 300 north. Okay. County might have all of our units. They're going to be obligated to Tipton County to go ahead and switch to Incident 1, and that way we'll take off main dispatch.
That's so people like me can't hear it.
Assisting in Tipton County. Switch to Incident 1. Incident 1. All regular traffic for Howard County can stay on Sheriff's Dispatch.
County 3468.
3468, I apologize. Lots of extra traffic. 27 south, 440 west shows on my map. On the east side of the road on 440 west. However, the mapping does not show an actual house there. I don't know if it's something that's been built recently.
Lake County, there's not a house. It's open field. I'm at 21, so.
Affirmative. They advise all their airplanes are accounted for.
Okay, were they training in the area? Several of the residents here are reporting that they saw planes that they thought were from Grissom in the area.
They advised all their planes were accounted for 30 minutes before this had happened. Their last plane had came in 30 minutes before this had happened.
Go ahead on 2. 36 up on 2. Go ahead on 2.
I'm sure you guys probably figured this out, but if you would turn on 68 or 13. My wife is saying that the national media is broadcasting this as that it happened north of the North Chrysler plant. I can't verify that, obviously, being down here, but if you could just let us know what they're saying.
There was all kinds of shit in the air over Kokomo because that's several miles north of where I was.
Yeah.
Like that was like 8 miles north of where I was taking pictures.
421043, all the fire units, EMS, everything from down in this direction, from Tipton County, is concentrating their search to the west of us, and they're checking every intersection and farm between here and there. Clear.
Have Honeywell as the alarm company. I don't have an alarm company listed. I'm trying to see who it is. I've got the TX number. I just don't have the alarm company's name in here.
Alpha Met has Honeywell stickers.
Clear.
Well, can you confirm that?
RC-45, we cannot confirm anything.
Kokomo 47 disregard. He didn't get any. Okay, 47 disregard. Clear. I'm going to head north, reference 36's traffic. Okay. 1043, the news we're getting is it's going to be the 2031. 283 Kokomo, I'm headed to 2831 now to check the area. Okay.
And that's south of 26 and 31. That's like the next major road.
Intersection, yeah.
Yeah, and that's quite a bit of a distance
Yeah,
too.
you get an opportunity. C-33 can come to Incident 1.
3430.
For call.
Then lost it at that point in time.
348 Kokomo, I observed that myself. 368, or check, 268, all the witnesses accounts, it appears to be somewhere south and west of about 500 north in Tipton County.
Clear, I see. 3430, 3433 on I-1.
Howard County, ambulance 81. there was some talk like that. There was a gentleman that watched it come through the air, and he advised it was not a ball of fire. It was coming apart, whatever it was, and it was about 7 miles west of where we were just at.
Okay, I'm heading westbound now.
Okay. Because that's on a loop. So that's that one. And then the plane down one, here's where we get some more interesting information.
State police just called, believe it is a plane down. A plane down at this time. We were trying to figure out the location.
Hey, I thought it was closer than that. I must have had a huge one.
Around 305. Contact EMA 1 and see if they're going to have to render them some assistance. That's going to be a fairly decent sized explosion.
3430, we are on the TX with Tipton now trying to sort it out. They have had an explosion at this time. They can't advise what.
Okay. West of 300 north, or west of 31, 300 north, correct?
Still sorting that out.
Where they have any units close?
A large explosion.
We're sorting that out.
Just west of 300 north of US 31. Just west of 300 north.
Hold on.
Just west on 300 north of 31.
That was just random.
45. Somebody's inside the house. He's going to be standing by outside the residence. 2222 Saratoga. 384. 4484 of it, Senator Park.
I heard Jefferson and Dixon.
42 Kokomo. What was the address on Jefferson? I'm about 23 now. 311 East.
Tipton County has requested multiple fire units out of Howard County. They do have some type of huge debris field at that location.
See? Are all of the policemen in this area idiots or something?
It is an aircraft down.
They are scrambling all over that area trying to find something.
For your information, it's an aircraft down.
Possible aircraft down.
And now he says possible, but he didn't say possible.
3464.
I'm 1041. I'll start that way.
84.
In direction whenever we do find this. Assist Tipton County. US 31, 300 north, US 31 and 300 north, just west of that intersection. Reference a explosion, being advised possibly an aircraft down. 300 north and 31 in Tipton County. Timeout 2236.
Fighting west of US 31 on 300 north. That's the only information we've been given so far.
I'm clear.
Harrison Fire. When you set off Taylor's tones, did you advise that was for Harrison and Taylor? I was just dispatching Taylor at that time. I was getting ready to dispatch Harrison as well. I was going to set off your tones and have you all en route as well. Clear. Go ahead and set off the tones. 10-4.
A north car and a south car signaling with me at Markland, Washington State.
42 Kokomo, head that way. There's 2 units here. Okay. 283, the only one that's 42.
Turn off your sirens, dummies.
6 for a welfare check.
Okay.
344, 366.
Some of that's local chatter.
Good.
in between. Then there'll be some more plane stuff come in. And can you hear them in the background? They've had an aircraft go down.
That's east of 31. That's east of 31.
Scene, it says it's east of 31. All responding units, it's east of US 31.
On 300 north.
300 north.
45 is clear. 41 is clear.
541.
Well, Terry Greer needs to grab a baseball bat.
Right, Markland and Washington at the video store. Clear.
1657.
I'm at business 31 and 31. You need to be en route to Howard County's call.
They're so confused.
1647, that's affirmative.
Got what size or anything else yet? Negative. I'm about 25 and 6 north, south of 26, and not being able
And the thing is, I have no doubt in my mind that they can do their jobs, but I feel
Fountain Market, or ticket, Market. 336, stimulate with me at Southway.
I feel like the longer that this goes on, the more
Superior and Main.
outside
From Markland right now. I'll wait till you catch up with
outside local law enforcement hands are putting it, getting into the cookie jar,
Yeah.
and it's convoluting everything.
I'm clear at 3430, 3461, 3464, 3433. All out to that area. Also, we were advised to contact EMA 1. I have him on TX at this time. We're trying to get some more EMA units down that way. 30 advised he wanted the rest of our units to stay in our county.
Court, thank you.
3433.
66, what was the name? 6610. What was the subject's name for welfare? Julie Dillinger. That's who we're checking welfare. A mile west of 31, and I'm back on the east side now. Clear, thank you.
They were crawling all over that
I've got
place.
a bunch of traffic southbound on Park Road out of our county.
Because people started driving out.
I've got neighbors telling me they've heard a boom, but then nobody's been able to tell me where it's at, and nobody's telling me where they ain't debris at.
2 miles west of 31, and there was nothing out here. I'm going to start back toward 33's location.
3430.
Okay, I know you're 10-6. Contact the base. See if they can advise anything that they may or may not have had on their radar.
3433.
Howard County, 3447, 1041. Yeah, I'm clear. Keep midnights in Howard County when they call.
3447, just 1043. 3464 is already in Tipton County. 33 is advised they want to keep him there.
That's fine.
47.
Being advised off to the west of that location.
He's frustrated.
Yeah.
33, can you advise? Not yet, Rick. Park. I'm still southbound on Park. I've got people branching off of Park. It's like they're looking for something, but no one's coming up with anything.
Harris County 3461.
Who are the people?
County, I'm here at the location at 3 North. There's nothing here. 61, we're going to try to reestablish a connection with
The people with the love of the color green.
We talked to them. They just said send everything they had that direction. They gave us that intersection. You may want to go direct with 1661, Ron Fisher. He's stating that he's getting information. It's at another west coordinate, about 3 miles away from our location now. 1661.
At some point, I don't know if we already heard it.
68, I don't need you. This is code 9. Code 1 today?
At some point, I heard somebody say, "I'm at the only known debris site." Did we already hear him, or is that coming up?
No, we haven't heard him yet.
6198. Be west and 300 north.
84.
Hope it's okay. We're going over time, but
Yeah, that's good.
you on the radio station.
Tipping County engine 31's on the scene at 300 north and 31. Revised engine 31, extend it to 5760 west. 5760 west on 300 north. Clare County, we're on the scene. Clare. Tipping County,
What
advised,
scene?
take your 4-3s with North Stage 40 units. US 31 on 300 north at this time. Okay. Since that's the only known location of debris, you want to go ahead and set up a perimeter from there back to the nearest crossroads?
That right the fuck there. See? I told you. What the fuck?
Ricky's clear, and they'll maintain dispatch until further notice.
25-1, thank you.
76 to that area.
They think we're stupid.
1043. Had a CP call in, advice 6143 north, 200 west. 6143 north, 200 west. Just west of that location, she advised she's seen an aircraft in the air.
Where exactly are we going?
.51.
East and north.
We're on scene.
We're on the scene.
Yep.
What scene?
Route, non-Singleton.
84, just information. State police just called, believe it is a plane down. A plane down at this time. We were trying to figure out the location.
That's the end of that loop. Come on now. Does that sound like flares and a fucking sonic boom to you?
It does not.
No, it does not. Jesus Christ. I wish somebody would. I wish, it's been buried for how many years, but there was something else going on. There's no doubt in my mind, because police officers who are trained don't say shit like that for no reason.
Right. Exactly. And like I said, I mean, at first it was somewhat of an organized search. You've got officers gridding out, okay, where it could possibly be. And the more you listen to the video or the audio, the more chaotic it became. You know, at one point, you know, I think it was a stadium. It was like, let's switch over to incident 1. And yet nobody switched over to incident 1. Did you notice that? I mean,
or else it makes me wonder what else they were talking about somewhere else where they were not paying attention to what these guys were saying, because they would have been like, don't say that on there.
Right.
So it makes me wonder what the hell they were talking about on incident 1 that they completely forgot that all these other guys were out here saying all this shit.
Right.
I mean, because there were so many of them.
Yeah, because that one officer was like, I'm on scene.
Yeah. How many times did you hear him say that? I'm at the scene. Well, what the fuck scene are you at?
Right.
and big debris field.
Right. And why in the world? I mean, I would almost gather that the individuals that live in the houses like right around that field don't live there anymore.
No, they probably don't. I don't know. But and also I could have told you, when we went knocking on doors, a lot of people didn't even answer their doors. How many people were out there and were told, don't say anything or you'll regret it, you know, pretend like this didn't happen. I mean, it's not like that doesn't happen, you know. And we even had reports later of witnesses that told us that they saw multiple Walmart semis out in the middle of nowhere. What they were doing out there, we do not know. I could never find any way to verify that, but I had eyewitnesses that said they saw several Walmart semis lined up along the side of the road out in the middle of nowhere. What were Walmart semis doing out in the middle of nowhere in this area?
See, that poses 2 questions. Why were they out there? And what exactly does Walmart, what kind of deal do they have set up with the government if they were involved in removing some shit like that? Do you know what I'm saying?
Or was it really Walmart trucks, or was that just a cover?
Right. But hey, Sam, we're going to use your trucks. We're going to remove this, you know, alien aircraft that came out of the sky. So we'll need about 15 trucks, and we'll just line them up on, okay.
And you know what? It's really funny that once that happened, we had multiple reports of these orange balls of light starting in early March, even late February, and all the way up until April 16th. And after this, I don't recall getting any more reports of orange balls of light. So did we shoot something down and run somebody off? You know, I don't know. I'm theorizing. It's just, but you know,
I would not be surprised at all if we shot something down.
Did you know, you read the newspaper articles, and I heard the broadcasts, you know, on the news and on the radio stations and everything. And everybody was laughing and being very condescending about this. But then I kept thinking to myself, if you could hear what I heard, you would not be laughing.
Right.
You would be saying, what the actual fuck happened? Because it ain't what you're telling me.
Right.
Excuse my French. But, you know, it's just, you know, I'm frustrated because I've been hearing that. I've been living, knowing this for over a decade, you know? So, and that's why I'm telling you that there's something comes around Kokomo. Good God. In 2013, when the tornado hit my house, okay?
Right.
Some dude down in Fishers was filming all the bad weather, and he was filming in Kokomo, and you could see a UFO flying in and out of the tornado as it came through town, and it wasn't debris. This was something completely different than debris. So, I mean, Kokomo has got some
What is
Strange
it?
shit. I don't know, man. But you about to find out because you're going to come up here and do some ghost hunting.
I will be up there later this month at the Davies House with Boonville, Indiana Paranormal Society doing an investigation there. I think what they're saying is it's going to be the last investigation there. The people that own it are going to sell it, or they're not doing it or whatnot. So it ought to be an interesting type investigation. I saw that video that you had sent me as well through Messenger.
Oh yeah.
I just hadn't been able to watch it yet. So I'm going to get on that and look at that. Angie Parker said, sure, she'd love to come on. So we'll get her squared away for that.
Yay.
But yeah, I mean, what is it with Kokomo? It just can't be Grissom because, I mean, we've got a National Guard down this way. I mean, I don't live but a spit across the river to Kentucky, and you know, they've got some important military places down there. Ohio.
Well, I don't know, but if anybody hears this broadcast tonight and they know something about the boom, or they witnessed, or they remember it, hit me up. I want to hear what you have to say.
Right. You can do that. Actually, you can do that two ways. You can hit Deb up. You can hit us or hit me up at gcable@midwestparatalkradio.com. And then I can pass it along to Deb. I still got to get you set up with one of those. But yeah, it's
an interesting story, and there still really isn't an answer. There really isn't a legitimate answer. There's just some cover story tossed out there by the National Guard, the Air National Guard, which is just bullshit.
Right. And they don't have enough cheddar to be throwing out bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man.
Oh, well. Thanks for letting me talk about this tonight and play these video and audio clips.
Did you do that?
No, I didn't do it. The ghosties, but the mosties must have done that.
No, I mean, it's interesting to me because one, we don't have an answer. Like, you know, thousands of other stories, you know, not similar, but kind of similar to this. You know, I think just tell me about it. I mean, I know that they exist. You know, they exist. We've seen things that can point to no other way other than some bureaucrat in a green suit telling us, you know, we're batshit crazy. And I'm sorry, I'm a lot of things, but I'm not. I'm not mental.
I'm extra, but I'm not extra crazy. I've been tested. And they told me I wasn't. So damn it.
Okay, Sheldon. But yeah, I mean, it's just interesting to me, and I don't know, man. Disclose to me. Let me know. You know. Quit trying to hide it from people.
I don't. Obviously. You know what? People aren't going to jump off of buildings like they did during the War of the Worlds broadcast on Halloween back in the day. This new generation of folks around here. I mean, good God, the government basically said, you know, we're going to research UFOs. We can't explain some of these. So basically they're saying, yeah, UFOs in their UAP, they changed it.
Right.
Our thing. And I can't tell you how many memes I saw that said, oh, you know, this happened today in government. And oh, by the way, UFOs are real and no one cares. I mean, you know, people are like, yeah, we already know. Yeah, we know. And the young generation, you know, it's not a question of if, it's a question of who and when.
Right.
You know, because they already know there's something else.
I don't know. I've not seen anything here yet. But
and I'm not going to trust government for disclosure. Good God, I can't trust anything they tell me when I read stuff like those two articles that I just read to you, and then hear what I hear on the police scanner and see what I saw with my own eyes. And and you think I'm going to believe you just because you know, I don't trust that either. Disclosure is going to happen just like it did on April 16th, 2008. and it's going to happen all over the place. You know, it's in front of a bunch of people, and there won't be denying it anymore. It's not going to come from some government, an American government or any other government. No.
What was it? There's multiple governments outside of the U.S. I guess that is an oxymoron, but anyway.
Well, they're more open about it than like Mexico and, you know.
Right. Yeah, you know, they're
France.
here. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I mean, they've shared video.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I think is interesting too is when, you know, they talk to the OG astronauts. You know, I think was it Buzz Aldrin that had sightings and came out saying that he had seen things while they were up on mission. I can't remember if it was him. Who's the other guy? Chuck Yeager. Is that his name?
Speed of sound. Armstrong.
I don't remember.
I can't remember.
It was the 60s.
I'm all jacked up on caffeine.
Right.
That was the 60s. I was like 10.
Yeah, I wasn't even born yet, so I wasn't alive when they landed on the moon, but I was alive to know that Elvis was alive, John Wayne was alive. Who else? I mean, like some famous people. And it's like I'll tell people that, and they'll be like, "You're old." I'm like, yeah, I am. So anyway, all right. Well, check it out. We're gonna wrap the show up tonight. We want to thank you guys for hanging out with us here tonight on Midwest Paratalk Radio and listening to the tale of the Kokomo Boom. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can always hit us up through the YouTube page at Midwest Paratalk Radio, or you can email me at gcable@midwestparatalkradio.com. You can go to the website, and there's a little chat page up there. You can put questions in there. And like I said, Deb, I'll get you an email for that or whatever. Or do you want to you put your email out there?
Yeah, my email, it's debcobble@gmail.com. Just shoot me an email. You know, if you have questions, if you have something you want to share with us, just whatever. Whatever you want to hear us talk about on our shows, just let us know, and we will be happy to oblige.
Oh, yeah, because we can talk.
Oh, hell yes.
Say. So, yeah. All right, go over to our YouTube page, Midwest Paratalk Radio, and click the like and subscribe, the little bell notification, so you can see our videos coming up. We're coming at you live every Thursday nights. What else was I going to? Oh, also go to the shop page on MidwestParatalkRadio.com. You can pick up a copy of Deb's book there on the page. You can also click on the Midwest Paratalk logo and get you some Midwest Paratalk merch. So, yeah, that being said, I think that's all I got, Deb.
That's all I got. My butt hurts now. I got to get up and walk around.
My butt.
There's something wrong with me. I'm sorry.
You're a little extra. That's why we get along. All right, guys. All right, check us out next Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central, here on the Midwest Paratalk Radio Network. Thank you for hanging out with Midwest Paratalk Radio tonight. Remember, you can catch us every Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 Central.